Okay, so today's lesson is going to be on regular expressions. This is going to be a slight departure from um, our curriculum, but not really. We've been spent the last few lessons going over the fundamentals of the Python language without really using a whole lot of other data science packages, and I think this is useful for you to, for sure, to understand some of these basic data types, but also to see some of the limitations of these core functions. You're probably starting to see that things that should maybe be easier, a little more tedious, and have no fear. We will have all these great tools at your disposal very soon. But it's good to understand sort of the fundamentals and realize why we need some of these more advanced packages. And so we'll get into that next time. We'll have a crash course in NumPy, Pandas, and Matplotlib. So that's numerical analysis, and then specifically data analysis, and data frames and things like that, and then plotting. So that's going to be lesson 10. And today we're going to do regular expressions. So we've covered this a little bit already with things like grep, and we will see that there are some Python packages that allow us to handle regular expressions, but there's also these appear in various other tools and programming languages and environments, and we'll play around a little bit with those. So getting right into it, we're going to go to lessons, and lesson 9 here, and let's click on the raw format. We're going to copy that link and then go to terminal, and we're going to do change into our directory, our course directory, and then the lessons directory within that. And then we're going to do curl -O, and then in quotes put that link and hit enter. It should download pretty fast. It's just a text file. And then we're going to source activate Python 3, and then activate the notebook. Okay, so we've got all these other files here, but we want lesson 9. Click on that. And before we do anything else, let's go to all output and clear, so we're all fresh. We've removed the output that was on the GitHub version. And I will toggle these. Okay, so we're gonna get started here. So this is lesson 9, regular expressions. There are some links at the top. I've drawn from some of these online resources for this lesson. And today we're going to cover what are regular expressions, and then go over some of the syntax for regular expressions. We'll show some examples using sed and grep, and then Python. In fact, I'm gonna. By the way, there's a few things that you'll see in these notebooks if you look at the markdown format, and these are useful. So if you use this little backtick around a word or a expression, it will render it as as code instead of as text. So it makes it in the notebook, it'll make it gray. In GitHub, it won't show up as gray, but it will show up as a monospaced font. This is just a handy little thing to specify some code. And also you may see, let me scroll down, see if I find an example. don't know if I have an example in this notebook, but you will see something like this. You should see this a lot in the answers that I sent out. Something like this, right? So, okay, then now it's giving me an error because it's listed as it's considered as a Python cell. But if I change the format, I usually do. If I change the format from code to Markdown, then it will render it now as a block of text. So this is kind of handy. So you use these three. It's the same kind of notation we use for a block of text in Python, but here it's specifically being rendered like this. Okay, so that's what we're going to cover today. So first of all, what are regular expressions? So we've seen these before. These are things that we use to match patterns in strings. And we build regular expressions to match just the possible string permutations or there's a typo here. Just the possible permutations of an expression that we want to match and nothing more. So for example, if our regular expression is this is a period and the letters OB. And the period has a special meaning in a regular expression. It means it's going to match any character except new line. So this could match a number, a letter, uppercase, lowercase, even a space. So I've just listed a few options, the things that that expression would match. Second one here, capital L, lowercase o, a star, and then L. This will match capital L, lowercase l, so basically we have no versions or no instances of this lowercase o. So that star means match the thing that came before it 0 or more times. So it can match it 0 times, it can match it 1 time, it can match it 6 times, etc. Question? Yeah.
Case sensitive? Is it case sensitive?
Yes. Yes. You can. There are different ways to make it case insensitive. We'll see how we do that in Python, but it's in my experience, it's better to be explicit about whether you want to be case sensitive or not. And we'll see explicit ways to do that in a minute. So yes, that's why I'm using uppercase and lowercase letters here explicitly. So a question mark is like a star, except it matches either 0 or 1 instance and not more. So it's like, you can think of it as like yes or no. Either way, it's fine, but it's not going to match more than 1. Here we have capital A, any character, and that any character could be any number of times, including like different versions of a character, and then followed by an E. So this is basically matching anything any number of times, but it has to be followed by an E, otherwise it doesn't match. So these would all match. We can also put something in brackets. We can say there's going to be a class of things. So this bracket BFG, capital B, capital F, capital G, that's a class of 3 characters. And this can match any one of those 3 1 time. So it's basically saying either B or F or G, and that's it. So this would only match these 3 strings, period. If it's multiple instance, it would it would only match, in this case, like the last one, right? It would just match the part that matched the expression. Similar, we can do the same thing with numbers. So we can say I want to match from 0 to 9. That's a number. And then any number of times, so that there's a star after that. And then I want to match a period. So if we want to match a period instead of this, what the period normally means would be to match any character. Well, we don't want to match any character. We want to actually match a period. So we use an escape character like this, and that will match just the actual period. And then we're going to match, again, 0 through 9 any number of times. So this would match, say, a decimal approximation of pi or 1000.1, any floating point value that has both an integer component and a decimal component. These are just some examples of some simple regular expressions. They can get much more complex, but just a simple understanding will get you pretty far, and you can build on that. So I will stop the video, and then I'll start the next section.